Alrighty, here's a quick look at all the belts on the line. I'm going to show you a quick brief history of the belts all the way from the Winged Eagle in '88 all the way to the current WWE Championship belt. Let's do this. Welcome everyone to my WWE belt history all the way from the Winged Eagle to the current WWE Championship. And first things, I want to apologize for the hair. It's always a problem in my videos. But when you work as much as I do, you don't really care once you get home, especially if you're going to make a video for YouTube. Forget the hair, enjoy the belts. Like I said, first one is the Winged Eagle belt. This bad boy. You may have seen it, you may know exactly which one it is, you may know more about belts than I do. But, in case you don't, and you're new to all this, this is the WWE Winged Eagle belt. It was first brought to us by the immortal Hulk Hogan at a Saturday Night main event in 1988 when he fought Andre the Giant, and then he lost it that very night because of the two Earl Hebner things, two referees, if you don't know who Earl Hebner is, and so he lost it, and then Andre the Giant sold it to Ted DiBiase, and then he later got it, blah blah blah. So this one was the belt for almost 10 years, and then the last person to hold this was Shawn Michaels when he fought Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 14 in 1998. Shawn Michaels lost it to Stone Cold, and the very next night on Raw, he had this belt. My personal favorite, because when I first started wrestling, this was the belt. This meant that you were the man. No matter if you were Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Triple H, whoever. If you had this belt, you were the WWE champion, or WWF back in the day. Anyway, but yeah, he had this belt. He had a block logo, as opposed to the scratch logo now. But yeah, he had that belt for a long time. But then they had the WCW merge with WWE, so then they had this belt too. The WCW World Heavyweight Championship belt. So then they had two titles. WWE, WCW. And so eventually it got down to where The Rock had this belt and Stone Cold had this belt. So they had to fight in 2001 at Vengeance in 3 different matches. The Rock lost the belt to Chris Jericho, and then Stone Cold lost his belt to Chris Jericho. So then you have one undisputed champion, the first undisputed champion, Y2J Chris Jericho, none other than the Ayatollah of rock and roll, who also has a pretty bad, or in a good way, podcast, which I listen to every week. But yeah, so he was the first undisputed champion. But then at WrestleMania, he fought Triple H, and then he lost him to Triple H. So then Triple H was the undisputed champion. But I guess he didn't feel like having 2 titles, so they came up with this belt. Pardon me for taking so long. I'm a one-man guy trying to do all this stuff on my own. They introduced this, the Undisputed Championship belt. Yep, there it is, people. So they had one champion as opposed to one champion, one belt, as opposed to one champion, 2 belts. But then they split Raw and SmackDown because they had so many superstars and everything, and they want to have brand versus brand. So they had Brock Lesnar go to SmackDown with this belt, leaving Raw with no champ. But they needed a champ. So Ric Flair, Ric Flair actually presented this belt. Ric Flair presented this belt to Triple H on Raw or SmackDown, and then they got rid of the old belts. So then when he gave him this one, this was the belt. Then eventually Brock Lesnar won the belt from The Rock, and then he went to SmackDown, blah blah blah. Went to SmackDown, they had no champion for Raw. So who wants to watch Raw if there's nobody fighting for a championship belt? They came up with this belt. the World Heavyweight Championship. But wait, Adam, didn't you already show that belt? No, I didn't. This is the WCW Championship. This one is what the World Heavyweight Championship is based off of. Not loosely, very tightly I might add. Only a few changes between this one and the new version. Anyway, so now in wrestling, in WWE, you have two champions. Sorry, I have a pinched nerve, it's hard to lift anything. You have the Raw World Heavyweight Champion and the SmackDown WWE Undisputed Champion. So you got two belts going back and forth. This one stays around for a long time. But then, JBL goes up against John Cena at WrestleMania 21 for this belt. And then John Cena wins. He wins his first ever WWE Championship. First of 15 championships so far. And then you have a new belt, and John Cena tricked, come on, it's not real. He tricked JBL into opening a box full of cuts, thinking it was the new belt, when actually he had it suspended from the top of the ring. And he presented the spinner belt, the WWE spinner belt. It spins, but I have it fastened down where it won't spin. Anyway, yes. So they have this belt, and they have the World Heavyweight Championship belt. You have one company, two champions. This goes on for quite a while. Then you say, then at some point, eventually, CM Punk wins the championship, and he holds on to this belt for 434 days. That is the longest in over 25 years that anybody was a WWE champion. He had this belt for over a year. And then he fought The Rock at Royal Rumble 2013. And he lost. Ended the 434-day reign. Then The Rock was the champion. He had the spinner belt. But he retired this one, and they came up with a new belt. They had this belt, the WWE Championship belt, even though it has a Randy Orton side plates. The Rock was the first person to ever get this belt. And they had this one for a little while, and they had two champions. They had the WWE and the World Heavyweight Champion. Eventually got to where Randy Orton was the WWE, John Cena was the World Heavyweight Champion. But they wanted, once again, only one champion. So John Cena fought Randy Orton at TLC 2014. No? Yeah, 13? I'm not sure. He fought for a champion of champions, and they merged these in having one champion. Randy Orton won that. But eventually, he lost at WrestleMania 30 to Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan took it, and then John Cena had it. Then John Cena took these two belts and faced the Beast Incarnate himself, Brock Lesnar, at SummerSlam 2014 at Los Angeles, which I actually got to see. And Brock Lesnar demolished John Cena, even though it's fake. I know it's not fake, but whatever, it's predetermined. But anyway, so they had Brock Lesnar had this belt, but the very next round of Raw, they retired these two belts and came up with the newest belt they have right now, which I'll show you. Yes, I know the nameplates are all mixed up. If I had Brock Lesnar's nameplates, I'd put them on here. But this is the new belt, because it matches with the new WWE logo. If you know anything about wrestling, you know that already. Yeah, so then they came out with this belt. And as of January, whatever today is, this is the current and only champion in WWE, which is held by Brock Lesnar, which he will be defending at the Royal Rumble in 2 weeks against John Cena and Seth Rollins, Mr. Money in the Bank. But yeah, these are all the belts from 1988 to 2015. I hope they help. If you saw any of the little bubbles during the videos, during the different belts, Those will show you the detailed videos of those things, kind of give you a little more detail about them, let you figure out if you want to buy them. If you do, if you don't, I recommend buying them. I don't regret any of the belts I bought, and I don't think you will either. Anyway, if you like this belt, if you like this video, please like, subscribe. What is it? Share? Oh, yeah. Do you believe? No, different share. Alright. If you like this, let me know. If you don't, also let me know. I'm curious. Comment. Let me know what you think as a viewer, as a WWE fan. Are these belts cool? Am I a 31-year-old loser? Please don't tell me that. I already know. Alright. Later, everyone. Have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. And that's about it.